Hello and welcome to another edition of Moments with Mindleaps. Some of you are starting to join us on a regular basis now, which makes me so pleased, and thank you for joining once again. For those of you who are new to Moments with Mindleaps, my name is Rebecca Davis, and I'm the Executive Director of Mindleaps, an organization working around the world to use the creative arts to find educational paths for vulnerable children. And on Fridays, we are doing a special series called Moments with Mindleaps, where we get the chance to speak with some creative artists and dancers and researchers from around the world that are trying to use their arts to build the communities that they live in and build other communities. And we're looking at how all of these things that are so important to us right now in our world can actually help lift up the most vulnerable populations. And this week, we're very thrilled to have the chance to speak with Cassidy Giordano. Cassidy has a really interesting mixture of academic experience and creative arts experience and dance experience. And she's going to share with us not only a little bit about her journey, but also about how she's combined a really exciting academic career with a lot of field experience still at a very young age, which is very difficult to do. And hopefully she'll give us some tips about how we can gather that experience in the field, which is so important to do, while actually supplementing that with the academic theory that we can gather in these academic programs. So I see the beautiful Giordano family all joining. Thank you very much. And as soon as Cassidy requests, then we'll have her join in with us. And Cassidy most recently graduated from the New School here in New York. And before that, she graduated from the University of the Arts in Philadelphia with her degree in dance. And in between all of that, she decided to travel the world. Okay, let me just grab Cassidy into our view here. And okay. Thank you so much for connecting with us. And this week, we think that we'll have a stronger internet connection than we've had in past weeks. So thank you for being patient with us. Hello, Cassidy. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. Thanks. How are you?
You decided to wait until I gave the entire incredible worldwide experience that you've had. So we will not be interrupted as we start our conversation. Thank you so much for joining us. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks. Thanks for having me. And I'm excited to talk with you about this.
And Emmy, one of our loyal followers in Rwanda, followed by Martin, your best friend in Guinea, have already joined, excitingly awaiting your presence on Moments with Mindleaps. So thank you for taking the time to speak with us.
I'm very excited.
For those of you who don't know Cassidy, we go way back, which makes me feel very, very old in a good way, because I've had Cassidy's energy with me for most of my life. And Cassidy first came to the world of Mindleaps and previously the world of RDDC in Philadelphia as a dance student. And now you've taken those early days and dance classes all the way through your academic career and traveling to Greece, Kenya, Guinea, Rwanda. Tell us a little bit about how you reflect on dance now in your life and what the arts mean to you after this very non-linear journey.
Definitely very non-linear. Yep. Yeah. Though it hasn't been linear, dance has been the one constant, I think, since I can remember. Probably started taking classes when I was, like an American kid, like 3 or 4 or something. And my older sister, Brianna, she started taking classes, so it was just natural for me to jump in and follow her through it. And so, yeah, ever since such a young age, dance has always been there for me. And just as I've grown, I've realized that though I'm not interested so much in pursuing a performative career and a professional career in that way with dance, it's still something that I'm trying to connect with all other aspects. And it's just become such a powerful tool through like dance therapy or just dance as a therapeutic practice, movement therapy. It's just this incredibly powerful language that doesn't necessarily require any structure or, grammar and rules. And it's just able to, you'll see me struggling with words so much, and maybe that's why I've fallen on dance so heavily. It's just the most amazing communicator and such a powerful tool.
When we were speaking with Chloe Davis from Philadelphia a few weeks ago, she used almost exactly the same words that you're using, which is that she wishes every interview she does could be done through dance and movement because she really thinks it's the most effective form of communication. Even Gabe, who's joining us now from ABT, I know that his path to Russia and then back to the US was also guided by the fact that we can go different places because of dance, where our initial language skills might not open up those doors. And I think also something that we've heard a lot of our guests say over these weeks is exactly this same idea for you, which is that like dance is the constant. And maybe right now in like such a confusing world for all of us in so many ways, that we grab onto that even more. And I think that that's also something that you've seen when you've been in the field with us. And you've now traveled to multiple countries with Mindleaps and to Greece outside of Mindleaps. And I wonder how you can connect for us or reflect upon it for us. What is that kind of sense of consistency and path that dance is giving you that then you also see in these other communities?
I think dance has been the key for me being able to go to these places and actually feel welcomed and comfortable, and to be able to continue to be myself in all of these different places. You can study as much as you want from books and from like, I know the first time I went to Rwanda, I was like the first time I had ever left the country. And so I read so many books and I was trying to figure out all of these things, but it's not until you're there that you can actually even try to begin to understand a different culture. And through dance is just really been what's able to connect me with the different students that Mindleaps is working for, and the international teams that I've worked with now. And it's just a very, as I said, a powerful tool. And it's just that.
Josh is also joining us, and Josh comes from our Philadelphia family. He will laugh at this as much as I will, which is that Josh and I both remember, Cassidy, when you were dancing in Helen Keller on the stages of the Prince Music Theater in Philadelphia years and years and years ago. And yet now, from those early days, like you say, like as like a kid in one of our countries taking dance class, and then you've woven it through these field experiences and you've come back to the academic side. And now you're looking at a career that pulls in so many different things, both intellectually and emotionally and physically. And this degree where you've just graduated from the new school. Can you kind of help us think about how trying to balance academic and theory, and what you've just said right now is like nothing replaces it when you get to the field and then you actually see it? Like, how has the marriage of those experiences given you the perspective that you have now at such a young age?
I think through Mindleaps is really what inspired me to go back to school. After I graduated with my BFA in dance, I was coming home from Guinea and preparing to go to Kenya. And I was just thinking that, all of these experiences that I do have and that have been so powerful and important, I knew I needed a more theoretical background of just different international perspectives and theories and organizations and how other people are working. And so very spur of the moment between Guinea and Kenya, I decided, okay, I'll apply to grad school. I'll do international affairs. I'll figure it out. I'm not entirely sure what it is yet, but it sounds good. And so after I came back from Kenya, I started at the new school, and it was a bit of a challenge, I would say, especially in the beginning, coming from a dance degree and then going into this, not to say that dance is not academic, because it is, but this more standard textbook academic world. And I had trouble for a lot of it, trying to find a way to intersect arts and dance back into this international perspective, the international relations and theories. And so I think it was really through, I traveled to Greece to study the effects of the asylum process on unaccompanied minors traveling through Greece from Turkey and from before Turkey. And it was while I was working on Greece, trying to do this research, that I was meeting all of these organizations and programs that are doing similar kind of art therapy directed programs. And I was really able to not only work with a new demographic of students, but to be able to finally apply like the theories of all of these things and the international laws and how they're built and how they're really working on the field, and to be able to see that while also dancing and using it all at the same time is just been incredible. And I feel like I understand everything so much more, but also nothing at all. And so yeah, I don't think you can take one without the other, the field experience and the academic side. But
it's interesting to hear you reflect on it from having like this kind of maybe we can say like advanced career in it. I mean, now it's like a master's degree, and then also all of the classical ballet, contemporary, modern, mix all the styles together, and then it's like the same conclusion that you're drawing for us is the same conclusion that we aspire the Mindleaps kids to try to conclude, that the dance is something you need, right? And it's something that nobody's ever going to take away from you. Even during COVID, when everything else disappears, like nobody can take away the decision for you to move your body. Right. And yet at the same time, it's what we learn in school, textbooks or exams, or even ways that we don't naturally want to process information, but that gives us kind of the structure to make sense of a lot of like what we feel or we try to express. And I mean, now you've had kind of, as I say, like a formal or an advanced career in that with a master's degree, but also with the studio time, in like structured studio time. And to hear you so clearly articulate that same thing that can happen organically when we mix the arts and education in the field is really astute, and something that I hope our kids, especially in Rwanda and Guinea, are hearing right now.
Yes, better be listening. That's so important.
Do everybody hear that your hero, Cassidy, is saying dance plus school?
Definitely.
So now tell us a little bit. Now it's COVID, but countries are opening up to close again. We'll see what happens. What have been some of your strategies for survival, for keeping that energy going, both with these kind of unusual times, but also with these times that some people have said have kind of like forced a type of isolation that normally we're just not used to and feels so foreign to all of us? What have you done to keep your smile going to get through that degree?
Wow. So it was really interesting the way that it all kind of unraveled so quickly. At least that's how it felt. One day we were all at work in the office, and we were like, okay, like you can go home early today. We'll see you again on Monday. And still, most of these people that I worked with every single day, inches away, I have not seen them since the closures. And so we all transitioned to online classes, and it was interesting. I think I've, as much of a homebody as I like to claim that I am, I think I realized that I do much better in a classroom setting where it's much easier to engage with your peers and colleagues, and to have these real conversations and to build on, like, just through conversation, the experiences. So the closures was difficult, but I'm still in Brooklyn, and my roommates are slowly coming back to me. So it's really nice to have some kind of interaction with people regularly.
I feel like now I should tell you to put on a mask.
Don't worry, I've got about 6 of them around here. Yeah. But it was an interesting time to finish. I'm glad I think I finished when I did, and it's giving me time now to really sit down and figure out in what direction I think I can really take this degree that I've worked for and the dance that I know, and how I can really bring the two of them together for a professional career that I'm truly passionate about. So it's, yeah.
I think, I mean, there's been a lot of people that have intersected through the Mindleaps path and our personal path too, you and me. And we hear, I mean, a lot of our stories overlap. I mean, you hear a lot of people say like, oh, I have to choose like dance or school. And then like, I want to do something internationally, but then like, I think I need field experience. And somehow you've done a really beautiful job balancing like quite a bit of field experience between Africa and Europe, and also your degrees. I wonder, like, how would you guide someone who kind of comes like with those vague but beautiful goals that I want to do something good around the world with the arts. Like, what's one or two things that you think they should know based on how you've built your path?
Wow.
Come on, give everyone your secret.
uh, um, my secret is that I just grew up with Mindleaps and no, okay. So, I think having the field experience before I went into this more academic world was very helpful for me, because as I was reading all of these things, I was able to already connect them to things that I had seen and different people that I had experienced and worked with. And so the combination of the two is crucial and so important. And again, you cannot have one without the other. But at the same time, the field experience, I think for Americans, that's what I can speak to at least, like it's so important to kind of understand your place while you're traveling to all of these places, to realize that you are the guest in these places and you have to go with an open mind and be ready to take all of the information that anyone is willing to share with you. And you can't, I think it's helped me a lot to really go to places and be able to be more flexible and adaptable to any kinds of circumstances or just the culture. And I think it's really important to just realize your place in wherever it is that you're traveling. And
I think it's also one of the reasons why we love working with you. Is whenever we have like the most difficult assignments and posts at Mindleaps, we're like, "Where's Cassidy?" We know you'll have exactly that mindset, which is also what I think is so crucial for this work to be effective, is that you go in to learn and then hopefully you have something that adds to the solution. But that mindset that, okay, it's not what I thought it was, and this is another beautiful reality, is something that, takes practice to achieve. It's a lot easier to say when both you and I are back in New York and not in Urchinga refugee camp. But actually, if you can achieve that, like, it's also like something wonderful for you. It's a whole kind of learning curve that we can't truly create, I think, maybe in the academic environment. But then, like you say, the academic environment helps us make sense of it afterwards, maybe. I also think one thing that's really powerful about you reminding us, Cassidy, that like we're guests and our opportunity is to learn from these communities, is also maybe something that we're starting to reflect on in our own country right now. Just today we were having some conversations about, what pieces can we take to build the United States or Western countries stronger? And I think what you just say right now is what should have been said in this meeting I was just in, which is that, like, let's remember whatever community maybe we can support, we first need to be a guest in that community and listen, no matter who we are or what perspective we come from or what intention we have. Maybe that intention will change or be elevated or be removed once that learning experience happens. That really has to happen together in the field. So I hope that, well, both myself, but also our broader group watching today, like, holds on to your words, not just thinking, oh, that's what happens when we go to Africa, but that's what needs to happen all the time, everywhere, no matter where we go. And it's something that's, now I see you're like years ahead of me, Cassidy. You've already learned it, and now I have to learn it from you.
I don't think so, but.
So now, Cassidy, leave us with maybe one or two final like memories from the breadth of experiences you've had. You talked about Greece and how that really helped you put the pieces together. But for somebody who hasn't had the depth of field experience that you've had, like, can you tell us a story of where you saw something happen or saw the change that was experienced somewhere that made the pieces click for you?
Wow.
I know you have too many options to choose from, but try to narrow down your multiple careers experiences to like one memory for us. What an easy question I asked you.
Oh, it's so easy. Wow. Let me just pick through all of the great ideas that I have right now. I think definitely I've spent the most time, at least, in Rwanda. So the memories that I have from there are so strong and important, and impossible to ignore every day. But I think I would have to say, at least that has stood out to me the most, maybe is traveling back to Rwanda multiple times, whether through work or just passing through, the growth of the students. The students, when I first met them, the group of like the small group of boys in 2015, and they were so young, and yeah, exactly. And going back, I think 1 or 2 years later, when like not only were they all taller than me at this point, but just the growth that they had, not only through dance, but through the ways that Mindleaps is actually trying to lift these students through all of the skills that the classes are helping to elevate. And even still, I'm always seeing all of you on Facebook and posting videos every day and different updates. And the growth of the students, I think, is the one change that I think has really helped put everything in perspective. Talking to non-dancers about Mindleaps sometimes, or about dance in general, is just like, oh wow, that's sweet, that's really cute what you're doing, that's nice. But really, when you see it and you can experience it and see the growth over 5 years, it's incredible, and it really is powerful.
And there's a flip side to it that you may be vaguely aware of, but I have a better perspective on it from the vantage point that I get to hold when many of you are coming back and forth to the field. Like how you described like the growth of the kids is something that then proves to you something works. It's just like a parallel that happens on the other side, which is when our community see guests, right, correctly put by you, guests come back, then there's also a different relationship that builds, that now we trust you, and now maybe you're not one of us, but you are invited and you are supposed to be here, which I don't think is ever achieved when it's a one-time visit. And I've seen our kids, specifically in Rwanda, like build these deep, deep relationships with you, and Brianna too, because of that constant commitment back and forth. And I just want you to be aware of how grateful we are for that, because it builds to a greater result and a greater impact, because you're also willing to do that with that sensitivity, and it's reciprocated in a way that you probably don't see, but we see from the field perspective. And we're just so grateful to have people like you in our deep Mindleaps family.
I am beyond grateful for Mindleaps. It is what has helped me grow up, and I constantly think about like what would have happened if that first time in 2015 I didn't go to Rwanda. Where would I even have gone to grad school? Would I be dancing still?
I would have gone back and grabbed you, don't worry.
Thank you.
Jen is here like saying for everything you said, he's like, yes, correct, yes. Cassidy. So your entire family, from Guinea to Kenya to Rwanda to New York to Philadelphia to RDDC to the new school and to everything beyond, is so grateful, Cassidy, for what you've given us over the years, and for you to continue to share these words and honesty with us is really a special gift.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us. I know that I've been persistent in encouraging you to join, and I'm so grateful for it. And we can't wait to see you in the next 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, as you continue to build this really incredible career. Thank you.
I'm very excited to see where that goes as well.
That means I get to have you back as a guest again.
Okay, great.
Okay, thank you so much, Cassidy. To our listeners in the United States, happy 4th of July. To our listeners in Rwanda, happy your 4th of July. And to everyone else, thank you so much for joining us this week. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Talk to you soon.
Okay, bye.
Thank you, everybody.